Hello everybody, this is Spirelli and welcome back to Astrologaster. Well, she to go exploring, I presume.
Good morrow, Mistress Fortescue. How may I do you, sir?
Oh, Dr. Forman, I have urgent need of your advice. Oh, woe! I know not what I am to do.
I shall help.
My word, madam, I have never before seen you in such a state. Pray tell, whatever can the matter be?
'Tis my husband, Captain Fortescue. God mend me! He has been implicated in a conspiracy to commit treason.
What?
Ah, yes, your husband, Captain Henry Fortescue. He is a great friend of Sir Walter Raleigh, is he not? Oh, methinks I see your problem. For Raleigh has been implicated in a plot against our new king, has he not? 'Tis said the plotters wish to oust the king and install the king's cousin on the throne. Or was Raleigh involved in that other plot? The one to kidnap the king and force him to appoint a more religiously tolerant privy council. In truth, there are so many plots against the English throne these days, 'tis hard to keep abreast of them all.
Indeed, I know not which plot Sir Walter was arrested for, but I have heard tell that the Privy Council seeks to find conspirators amongst his associates. Hence I have been hiding my husband in our cellar and pretending he's still away at sea.
But why would your husband fear arrest? Was he involved in Sir Walter Raleigh's plot?
Nay, he was not. But all London believes that he and Sir Walter are very great friends.
I wonder why.
Yes, I see. But what of your own friends, Mistress Fortescue? All those lords, ladies, and bishops who have so oft graced your table, would they not speak in your husband's defence?
Well, dear Emma says she will speak for my husband, but alas, she now has little influence at court on account of some scandals of her own. As for my other acquaintances, they have all disowned me. They decline my invitations, and no one is at home to me when I call upon them. Even Sir Munchalot has stopped speaking to me.
Even your parrot, madam? On my word, that is very cold.
I beseech you, sir, read the stars and tell me how I might save my husband from arrest. Pray assure me he will be safe.
Let us see, then. Is Captain Henry Fortescue in danger of being arrested for treason? If so, what might Mistress Fortescue do to prevent it?
Here's another tough one. Oh, but I already have her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So maybe it's okay if I screw up. It's a weird way to think. I don't want to think that way. I want to help her. But yeah, I wonder why people think that they are so great friends. I wonder whether it's mentioned in every conversation that you had ever. Sybil Fortescue is deluded and has lost touch with reality. God will punish Captain Fortescue violently for his part in his conspiracy. The Fortescue family reputation is dead. They will go down in history as traitors. Is that true? The king will soon be waging a violent war in a foreign country, thus distracting him from hunting for Raleigh's co-conspirators. Mistress Fortescue may be optimistic about her husband's fate, for the plot against the king will soon be taken far less seriously than it is now. That sounds about right, aren't they always in one war or another? Despite what she may think, Sybil Fortescue can still use her social authority and influential relationships to aid her husband. The intelligent course is for Sybil to keep her distress a secret from the world and behave as if she has nothing to fear. Now, B and C don't really contradict each other, because B is like, in the future it would be less of a problem, and C is like, in your current situation just try and keep going. Though I do feel like this, she can still use her social authority and influence to aid her husband, what maybe prompt her to reveal that her husband is there and have people speak in his favor. So I want to say, don't you worry, there's naturally gonna be more war, and then they're gonna be distracted and all will be fine.
Be not so afeard, madam, for the stars show cause for optimism. Whilst your family's situation is grave at present, it will not remain so for long.
Oh, my My days, Dr. Forman! You cannot imagine how well it is to hear your words.
Indeed, given enough time, this plot against the king will be remembered as but a trifling affair. Even King James himself will soon be jesting of it. He will remark, "Remember you the time Sir Walter Raleigh and his friends tried to snatch away my crown and give it to my cousin? Such japes!"
Such fun.
Dr. Forman, I do not think that can be right.
"I assure you it is, madam, for the king will soon be engaging England in a bloody foreign war so all-consuming that mere domestic political machinations will seem trifling in comparison."
On my honour, I truly do wish I could believe what you say, but 'tis well known that King James favours peace and does not intend to engage England in more wars.
Is that well known?
Yes, verily. Such matters of state have oft been discussed at my table. I must own, Dr. Forman, that your false assurances do give me no comfort. No comfort at all, Dr. Forman. Methinks I shall to Whitehall go and throw myself upon the mercy of the king.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. I just thought that England likes to interact with other countries. The queen wished to know whether her husband would be arrested for treason and how she could prevent it. I did advise the queen not to worry, as a foreign war would soon distract the king from seeking to punish traitors. Methinks the queen took my advice rather ill. This was the last one, so I may not be seeing her again. Perchance as I were to sell my jewels, I could have enough coin to bribe a lord of the Privy Council.
Humphrey Bell, your time upon the stage grows near to its end as you advance in age. But hold, no tears, come down, resign your fears, you're just too old to earn a living wage.
You're not dying yet, you just won't have any money whatsoever. What is the age that you have to retire from acting, especially if you're playing female parts, apparently, where they always have to be young and beautiful, because that's what women are supposed to be.
Good day to you, young sir. May I say, your playing of Titus Andronicus's comely mother was excellent. Well, a wondrous performance, Mr. Bell.
Aye, well, I did ask for a man's part, like he told me, but Bossman just winked at me and said he'd consider it, but only if I convince Mistress Burbage I'm a man first.
Forsooth, how strange. I wonder what he meant by that.
I know what he means though, innit? Mistress Burbage wants to move to me and Mr. Burbage knows all about it.
On my word! But surely, Mr. Bell, if Mistress Burbage's attentions occasion you discomfort, you have merely to tell her so. Make it plain you wish your relationship to remain professional and bid her abstain from any amorous advances.
You what? Nay, sir. If I air her, she'll be vexed and I could lose my job. Know you what I mean?
Ah, I see, yes. If she were to take umbrage, she might use her influence over her husband to prevent you from getting work. Well, I do have a recipe for a very effective aphrodisiac. Nay? Then let us see what the stars advise. How might Humphrey Bell calm the ardour of Mistress Burbage without it costing him his career?
Well, that's a good question. Mistress Burbage has a choleric temperament when it comes to affairs of the heart. She prefers to be the one in charge. Mistress Burbage is troubled with the habit for indulging in lustful passions. Hey, is this the first time I can actually choose the answer? Oh, I think the problem is lustful passions. Let's see.
It would seem Mistress Burbage's behaviour can be attributed to her excessive sanguinity. To wit, there is an imbalance of blood in her body. It compels her towards an indulgence in lustful passions.
What do you mean, like? She's ill or something? Her grabbing me backstage and trying to beg me, 'tis an imbalance of blood making her do all that. So, how do I help her fix her problem then?
Her problem? Oh nay, Mistress Burbage is not ill. Forsooth, indulging in her lustful passions is a most healthsome pursuit, which doubtless brings her much pleasure. Indeed, the only person who has a problem with her lustful activities is you.
You what?
Perchance you could find a means of adding cooling and drying foods to the lady's diet to counteract the fiery moistness of her sanguinity. I suggest myrtle berries, lettuce, and mallows.
Methinks I can add them plants to the morning potage she takes during rehearsal. And if that don't make her move from me, I might start adding poison in it.
See, that's the way of thinking. The wife of one of the queen's bosses has designed upon his person he wished to know how to calm her adorer. I did judge Mistress Burbage as having a habit of lustful passions, and advised the queen to introduce cool, trying foods into her diet. Methinks the queen was a little pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. So next time I could have these, or I could screw it up. Next time Mrs. Burbage just stokes the fire and tells me to take off my doublet, I'll tell her men's not hot in it.
Hear ye, hear ye! Raleigh's ally, Henry Fortescue, arrested for treason! Hear ye!
In a raid on his house early this morning, Captain Henry Fortescue was arrested for his part in a plot against the king. Neighbours report that he has been hiding in his basement to escape punishment. His wife Sybil Fortescue, formerly much renowned in royal court circles for dinner parties, has vowed to fight on to prove her husband's innocence and win his freedom. Sources say that she had better get on with it, for if he's convicted at this trial this evening, he'll be executed tomorrow morning. So I should have told her to use her influence, I guess. Oh, man.
Lancelot Moore is doubtless a fool, yet men of his class are destined to rule. They tell us 'tis but the order of things, as is the divine right of kings.
Yeah, it's all just about like who you're born to, not what you're doing, what you can do, what you know, how smart or strong or whatnot you are.
Good evening, Mr. Moore. How may I do you service?
I have a mind to take up a profession and would have your counsel on it.
Of course.
For I must say, your advice thus far has been most excellent.
Has it?
Counselling me not to marry that sly succubus Emma Dyer did veritably save my life. Indeed, I have heard it rumoured that her husbands have a lamentable habit of dying, if you follow my meaning.
They do.
In short, their deaths are most unnatural and not at all accidental. Do you understand what I'm telling you, Forman?
Aye, I do, Mr. Moore. Pray afford me a moment to recover from the excess of shock and surprise I do feel upon being told of the lady's true nature. Now, you say you wish to take up a profession. 'Tis a military career you're considering, I presume? You wish to distinguish yourself in battle?
Nay,
I don't think so.
'tis a career in the church. I have a mind to take holy orders.
You wish to become a clergyman? Pray tell, how came you by this notion?
'Twas given me by the top dog himself, the Archbishop of Canterbury. He's a hunting chum of my father's. Aye, the Archbishop is a crack shot with a musket. You should see him at it, Foreman.
Okay.
Give a man half an hour and a pouch of lead shot, and he'll turn your duck pond into duck soup. It seems the Archbishop has had his eye on me for quite some time.
Verily, indeed.
He says I show great promise, and that under his personal tutelage I should rise very rapidly. He even said he has a mind to make me Bishop of Salisbury.
Ah, yes, the much-coveted bishopric of Salisbury.
But before I make my final decision, Foreman, I thought I'd better come to you first.
Aye, very wise of you. Then let us see what the stars foretell. Would my querent, Lancelot Moore, enjoy success as a clergyman?
I can't see that happen. So now if I screw up, I don't get the letter of recommendation even though I reached 100, I guess. While hidden motives are at work, promises will be broken. Well, we know that. Moore's ambitions are misguided. He's being unrealistic about his suitability for the church. Serving under the Archbishop would be unpleasant. Or good angels would transform Moore, turning him away from his present course of idleness and dissipation. London will resound with flattering gossip of Moore's piety and seriousness, thus enhancing his romantic appeal, because nothing is as romantic as clergyman. God will help Moore with women. No. Why are you saying that? No, I'm sorry.
May I discourse frankly, sir, as someone who has guided you these many years past.
Yea, I suppose so.
Have you considered that your particular tastes and proclivities might be ill-suited to a life of service in the church?
My tastes and proclivities? Ha! If you only knew of the tastes and proclivities indulged at the Archbishop's Palace in Lambeth, I would tell you what they are, Foreman. But what occurs at Lambeth Palace
Bides at Lambeth Palace. Yes, I'm well aware. But as for his offering you the bishopric of Salisbury, well, the stars do indicate that His Grace has promised the bishopric of Salisbury to every dean from here to the Isle of Man. He is unlikely to ever grant it to you.
Verily? He has? How very wrong of the Archbishop to make promises he does not keep. You were very right to warn me of this, for I do not think I could bide the company of such a man for long. I thank you, Foreman. You have served me well this day.
Haven't I served you well always? I will now have my letter of recommendation, please. The Queen did wish to know whether he would find success if he were to pursue a career in the Church of England. I warned the Crown against pursuing a career in the Church. Methinks the Crown was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Thank you. It is just as well. I would have been ashamed to hide my figure under those shapeless clergyman's robes. Yes, that too. I should have mentioned that. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Humphrey Bell or Emma Sharp. Please come to me. Mary Payne. Nah, I'm not gonna make that.
Here comes crafty Emma. What does she ask for now? Many times a week it is needless to say her. Despite her sins, may she be saved from most of what God gave. Here comes crafty Emma. What does she ask for now?
I am interested because she's not married now. Is she?
God give you good day, madam.
Good day to you, sir, and well met.
And how fares your husband, Lady Dyer? I recall you were worried for his health.
'Twas the diabetes, the disease you judged him as having. He died from wounds that never healed.
You mean the wound on his lordship's hand? But I recall you saying it was quite small.
Oh, yes, that wound was, but he acquired many more. One evening, whilst we were summering at our country estate, the stone railing of our balcony gave way, and he fell into some particularly thorny rose bushes.
Verily? How distressing. And he never recovered from the scratches?
Nay, 'twas most tragical and so forth.
And so
Well,
forth.
I am sorry to hear of your husband's passing, but, madam, are you quite well? You do not seem yourself this day, if I may remark on it.
Dr. Forman, I am more myself than you have ever seen me, for during these past years I have been playing a role that has served me well, to be sure, but I am grown tired of it. Indeed, I am not proud of my dissembling. I'm not proud of some other things besides.
And doubtless you are come to unburden yourself by confessing your, what those things are.
What? Nay, of course not. As I was saying, whilst my dissimulations have afforded me wealth and status, such a life as I have lived has not fulfilled me. For though I have been married many times and known many men, I have always lacked one important thing.
A moral compass?
And that thing is love. In short, I have found love, Dr. Forman, and the object of my affection is not one of these privileged popinjays I've met at the royal court. Nay, 'tis a real man, a man who knows what it is to make his own way in the world.
Oh, you mean to say, you mean you and I?
Verily, upon seeing him play Tamara in Titus Andronicus at the Globe one even, I was, well, my heart was took.
I see. You are in love with a player then, I take it.
Aye, and I wish to marry him.
Cannot counsel
But
anybody
first,
to marry
I
you.
would know whether such a match be advisable. Is our love true, or is my considerable coin and property where his true affections lie? Such a deception would not surprise me in truth.
Well, nay, doubtless it would not. Let us see whether the stars can tell us.
I love the line, a moral compass. Emma's bow hides evil intentions. Emma's head has been turned. She's deluded in her hopes. The mind of Emma's beloved is on the coin he would inherit when Emma dies. If Emma and I were romantic partners, I would not trust her. Where is that coming from? Emma's duties as a wife would be impossible to fulfill. It is cruel to deprive a man of children. Is it now? A match between Emma and a beau would be faithful and enduring. Emma's relationship with the young man has changed her. No, I want to say that he's behind the coin.
I urge you not to marry this young player, madam. The love you think you share is false. The youth has used his fair charms to fool you.
I see. Then he is marrying me in the hope that I will die and he will inherit my estate.
Just so, I am afeard.
How disappointing. Although all the same, how verily intriguing.
Oh.
I must own that I cannot help but admire Humphrey all the more now.
The shock of ill news can oft occasion feelings of denial. Hence, let me be clear. This young man harbours devious...
Worry not, for you were very clear the first time. I thank you once again for your wise counsel, sir. Fare you well, Dr. Forman.
Oh, wow. She's into some things. The Queen wished to know whether she should marry the young player she's in love with. I did advise the Queen that the young player was devious and marrying her for her money. This did not seem to dampen her desire for him, however. Methinks the merit is most pleased with me for the reading I gave this day, and there I got my letter of recommendation. Not just a pretty face, then, it seems. So she admires him for his cunningness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have my 8 letters of recommendation, everybody.
Humphrey Bell, our thoughts we must disclose. Though your acting is fine, you were to marry clothes. 'Tis hot, ribite not, fuss not, sit down, recline upon this couch and take a little wine.
So I take it the tri-plants have not helped in getting away from other people's lusty passion.
Good day, Mr. Bell. I see here in my notes the last time you came to us for counsel regarding Mistress Burbage and her tender advances.
Aye, and the advice you gave me to cool her down and that worked her treat.
Oh.
Since I've been putting them herbs in her potage, she spends so much time in the privy, I hardly ever see her now.
That is... Well, I am glad my advice achieved the desired outcome and Mistress Burbage is no longer bothering you.
'Tis about another lady I'm come this day. 'Tis a member of the audience who comes to all my performances and brings me flowers and sweetmeats. A mature lady, a widow, innit?
Another one? On my word, you are most ill-fortuned, Mr. Bell. Verily, are no young players safe these days from being preyed upon by lecherous old ladies?
This one he
It's
wants.
not all ladies, Dr. Forman. Not this one, anyways. Emma ain't like any of the other ladies I've met. In truth, Dr. Forman, we wish to be wed. I love her, innit?
Then what is your trouble?
Well, I've heard tell of some vexing things. There are them that say she has a heart of stone and only marries to get her hands on a man's money, though I have none, and she be rich. But she has been widowed many times, and there's even a rumour saying she's had a hand in her husband's deaths.
What?
Oh, verily?
How
shocking.
shocking.
I must own to being a trifle shook by it, and maybe a bit excited as well, but mainly shook, innit?
Doubtless you are, for 'tis most frightening if there be any truth to these rumours. We must consult the stars and see whether it be wise for you to marry. Should Humphrey Bell wed this wealthy widow, and what will become of him if he does?
I wonder whether they're a good pair because they're both excited by it, or whether it's just it will wear down and then what leaves them, you know, the excitement will wear down. The lady's psychotic instincts regarding the amassing of wealth have changed. The rumours about the lady are cruel. Humphrey can expect a pleasant inheritance from this lady as she is very rich. In time, if he keeps faith, Humphrey will have children with this lady. Well, how old is she? Because she's been marrying a lot of people and it's been quite some time, hasn't it? Death will occur on the couple's honeymoon. The lady has creative approach to marriage and is not to be trusted. In her turn to exterior, the lady harbors hidden motives. Well, it's true that he would inherit a lot, and he has troubles with money. The children, I don't know. But this would say the rumors are cruel, but they're not. They're true. But they have changed. Unless she's fooled me, but why? What would be her intent on this? Let's try, you'll inherit a lot of money.
Mr. Bell, it has been my privilege to guide you over the years in matters of work and in life. Wisely, I hope, but certainly with the greatest sense of care for your well-being. Indeed, I have come to think of you as a father might think of a son. 'Tis a responsibility I have not taken lightly, and in loco parentis, as it were, I feel an obligation to...
Sir, begging your pardon, sir, but I'm gonna stop you right there, because I need to know, innit? Should I marry Emma or not?
The stars bless the match between you and this widow, Mr. Bell. Forsooth, she is, let us be frank, wondrous wealthy. Marrying her will make you a rich man indeed, and with time and faith, you will have many children together.
I'd have to have a full lot of faith, though. My Emma is all of 6 and 40 years of age.
Yeah.
Emma, you say this lady's name is?
Dr. Forman, me thinks your stars ain't working true this day. I best make this life-changing decision on my own, innit?
Damn. I thought she's old, but then I thought he would need money, so I should go for that one. The Queen did wish to know whether he should marry a wealthy widow. I did advise the Queen it was well to marry a widow, for the marriage would produce children. The Queen was puzzled by this answer, as Emma dies all of 6 and 40 years of age. Methinks the Queen took my advice a little ill. No, it's so close. Methinks I shall retire from the stage once I am wed. Mayhap do some charity work or something.
Mary oft takes her young niece to the cockfighting pits.
What?
She prefers a hanging, though she readily admits. Fueled after drinking turnip wine until she's off her
Oh god, I'm so upset.
Tomorrow, Mistress Payne. It has been quite some time since I last saw you. Did you ever hear from the Archbishop? I recall your husband was intending to write to him, expressing your concerns about the Continentals.
Aye, we did write, but he never replied. Not that I am surprised, mind you, as they do say that Archbishop Whitgift is a very idle man, not to speak of the unsavoury goings-on within the walls of Lambeth Palace.
You don't speak about Lambeth
They say that in the
Palace.
great dining hall the Archbishop and his guests do feast and carouse from dusk till dawn, and 'tis said that in some of the palace rooms they indulge in fornication and sodomitical sins.
Verily, indeed. Then, doubtless that leaves him very little time to reply to every...
Truly, methinks being surrounded by such decadence and corruption of the flesh is likely to have made the Archbishop very hard. Aye, bearing witness to so much vice would make a man very hard indeed. Hard, Dr. Forman? Insensible to the needs and difficulties of ordinary folk such as you and I. Verily, I do not wonder that such a hard man gave me no satisfaction. Which is why I am come to you this day, Dr. Forman. Something did trouble me last night, and I would have you tell me what it might have been.
I will if I can, madam. Prithee, describe it to me.
Well, at first was the noise of a boat that did awaken me. I got up out of bed and went to the window to see what was. As you know, on 4th Street we are right by the banks of the Thames. In the moonlight, I could just make out a ferry crossing the river, loaded up with large barrels.
Okay.
And you thought it suspicious?
Aye, indeed, for the hour was very late and the boat's lamp was not lit. I did not wake Mr. Payne to ask his opinion, for, in truth, he has told me he wishes to hear no more about the things I see from our window. So, I am come to you, for I can have no rest until I know who those men were and what they were doing. Who knows what foul deeds may be afoot in Lambeth Town? Mayhap the men I saw were Catholic spies, engaging in some manner of nefarious plot against the realm.
Then let us see. What does God have to say regarding this boat you saw crossing the Thames last night? Was it some kind of elaborate Catholic plot, or is there a more likely explanation?
Well, let's see then. She is coming back 2 more times, but I don't think I can fill up 55% in that. Oh man. Mrs. Payne is unpleasant and delusional. No, come on. Mrs. Payne wants to change the world. That is the legacy she intends to leave. Mrs. Payne is unhappy with her children. They're doubtless grown up and are now neglecting her. Okay. The goods the boat was transporting were of questionable provenance, or... The boat journey was undertaken for evil purposes. The information should be reported to the authorities, ideally a friend or acquaintance with some connections to them. The ambitions of this loyal, untamed forces are at play here. Yeah, let's just tell her what she wants to hear. I don't even care anymore. I messed this up, didn't I? I'm not gonna get my 8 letters. I'm not gonna be a doctor.
You did well to come to me, Mistress Payne. The stars confirm that the events you witnessed last night do indeed portend of doings of a most foul and sinister nature. I will pass your information on to one of my querents, whom I may not name, but who is a member of Her Majesty's Secret Service and reports directly to Her Majesty's Privy Council.
I knew I could rely upon you, Dr. Forman. You and I doing such important work together. We make quite the team, do we not?
I would not say that precisely.
Do not be falsely modest, Dr. Forman. False modesty is naught but the sin of vanity in disguise. Now, I must to home hasten to tell my neighbours. Forsooth, I must warn them of this grave threat and bid them keep a watchful eye on our local Catholics.
Yeah, you do that.
Blessed day, Dr. Forman.
You do that, my dear. The Queen wished to know whether a boat crossing the Thames in the middle of the night was part of some Catholic plot against the realm. I did tell the client that I would pass her information on to relevant authorities. Note to self, tell Christopher Mallow. Methinks the Queen was pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. Shall tell my neighbours Dr. Forman and I are relaying my information to Her Majesty's Privy Council.
Hear ye, hear ye! Catholic terror plot to blow up Parliament foiled! Gunpowder barrels discovered in cellar! Hear ye!
Disturbing reports just in from Westminster. The belts of gunpowder were discovered in the cellar under the Houses of Parliament last night. Sources indicate that this gunpowder plot was a Catholic conspiracy led by Robert Catesby and assisted by a Continental by the name of Guido Fawkes.
'Tis well to jest at Mary Payne, 'tis well to sneer and mock, until her views become the norm, then 'twill be quite a shock. But for now let's laugh at her and how her niece loves. How her niece loves la 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 la.
Yeah, it's like if one person does it, it's quite fun because it's so absurd. But if there's a lot of people, there's a problem
Good day,
there.
Mistress Payne. You seem in good cheer.
That I am, Dr. Forman. This day I am taking my niece on a lovely outing to see the cockfighting in Vauxhall.
Ah, there is a cockpit in Vauxhall now, is there?
Aye, and a very fine one. And I did think we need a nice day out to turn our minds away from that terrible affair of the Catholics plotting to blow up the Houses of Parliament. And my niece does so love the cocks.
Doubtless, madam. And the gunpowder plot was indeed a terrible business.
They say it was the doings of a group of young Catholic nobles from the Midlands, do they not? And that the gunpowder was ferried across the Thames at Lambeth under cover of darkness. Doubtless, 'twas the very same boat I did tell you about, Dr. Forman.
Doubtless.
And of course, I must congratulate you for recognizing how right I was to be suspicious of that boat I saw.
May I get this letter?
Bid you tell me, and do not be coy, Dr. Forman. Was it your relaying of my information to the authorities that foiled the gunpowder plot? Did you and I save England from the Catholics?
I am afraid, madam, that I am not at liberty to confirm nor deny my involvement in the matter.
Ah, but oh my days! Are you ill, Dr. Forman? Mayhap we are both troubled with the same disease, for my eyes do also twitch and prick with pain.
I did remark the condition of your eyes. They are very red in appearance, and you seem troubled with a hacking cough. For how long have you had these troubles?
Only these past few days, and as well as my eyes and my cough, I do also find it a trifle vexing to breathe.
Then let us now consult the stars. What ails Mistress Mary Payne?
Oh god, I'm so latched because if I make this, then I could... Okay, my eyes itch, I cough, and I find it hard to breathe. What ails me? The current is suffering from bloodshot eyes, a condition characterized by red itchy eyes. No. Current's lung have been harmed by the inhalation of noxious odors. Or the current is suffering from the green sickness, a disease that can provoke short-windedness owing to a build-up of venerable frustration. A psychological factor. I don't think it's psychological, so...
Ah, madam, your symptoms are occasioned by noxious odours. Most likely you did lately inhale a large volume of smoke. Mayhap your chimney requires cleaning.
Indeed it does not, Dr. Forman. My cleanliness is unimpeachable. I have my maidservant scour the house from top to bottom every day.
Ah, then I cannot be sure what has occasioned your... Hold. What is that acrid odour? Methinks it does emanate from your clothing. Madam, have you been taking part in the anti-Catholic pogroms that Lambeth has witnessed these past days? The burning of houses and shops. The lynching of priests from trees upon Lambeth Green.
Mayhap I have, and what of it? You should be congratulating me and my ilk for keeping you safe.
Excuse
and
me,
for
what?
sending a clear message to those Catholics who would plot against our parliament and blow us up with gunpowder.
Madam, these Catholics are our neighbours, our colleagues, and our friends. I beseech you to consider your actions, madam. Are not Catholics people too, just as we are? If you prick them, do they not bleed?
Aye,
killing?
and the flesh does burn the same and all. I fear I
Wow.
cannot follow your reasoning, Dr. Forman.
Are they not subject to the same diseases, healed by the same cures as we are? And if not cured, then, alas, taken so soon, so needlessly. I did never have the chance to... Oh, my sweet Avis. Can you ever forgive me?
Is something the matter with you, Dr. Forman? On my honour, you do seem most troubled. Mayhap you should be going to consult with a doctor yourself.
Yeah, thanks for the
God
advice.
keep you well, Dr. Forman. Blessed
God,
day.
I'm gonna get a recommendation letter, aren't I? Oh, God. Okay, the current did present with a cough, difficulty breathing, and irritation of the eyes. I did diagnose inhalation of noxious odors. Methinks the current was pleased with me for the reading gave this day. And I received her letter of recommendation for correctly assuming that she burned people alive. Might we make a list of which shops and taverns are Catholic owned? Methinks our actions could be a trifle more organised. Oh, fuck off.
Hear ye! Hear ye! London struck by plague. Playhouses closed by order of the king. Hear ye!
Be advised that if you're experiencing any of the following black symptoms, fever, abdominal pain, lumps on your groin oozing full pus, send word to local authorities and a team of carpenters will be dispatched to your place of residence to board up your house so that you may not roam about infecting others. That's what we should be doing. Please ensure that loved ones are ready to be deposited in the black cart when it passes each evening. Corpses deposited in the street outside of collection hours will incur a fine of 1 shilling.
Save us, Almighty Lord. Save us from the wrath of God. Upon us he hath wrought his vengeance and justice.
God give you good day, your grace. How fare you this...
Know you whether the plague will reach as far as Lambeth? Have you seen it in the stars?
Ah, the plague that has begun to spread throughout London. Rest assured, your grace, if the plague does indeed reach Lambeth, the people of Lambeth will have me, Doctor Simon Forman, at their service. My renowned strong water cure will doubtless be required.
I bid you, read the stars for me now. Will or will it not reach Lambeth?
Of course, as it pleases your grace. Let us see what the stars have to say. Will the London plague reach beyond the city walls to Lambeth?
Is it something I ought to know? Or just like... The rumors of the plague reaching Lambeth are not credible. Death from the plague is God's punishment for our sins. The Archbishop has nothing to fear from the plague, is but to exercise patience and the threat will pass. It is the Archbishop's duty to stay in Lambeth and help fight the plague. Or... The Archbishop must embark upon a voyage. Lambeth's society may be peaceful now, but people can behave unpredictably during a grave health crisis. So he should go away because he'll reach there. He should stay there. Or it will never get there. Oh god. Go on a journey, won't you?
Ah, yes. The stars are most clear on the matter. Very clear indeed.
Then what do they say? Tell me!
Well, before I give you my answer, I would have your decision on granting me that medical license we spoke of on your previous visits. I am sorry, Your Grace, but I must insist upon it.
I would gladly do so, but I find my hands tied due to various episcopal and doctrinal... As I see you are determined not to let the matter rest, I will speak true. Some years ago, the Queen's physician, Dr. Richard Smith, did write me a letter on behalf of the College of Physicians. He warned me in the strongest terms against granting you a medical license. So you see, I cannot grant you a license without raising the ire of the College of Physicians.
But I've 8 letters of recommendation.
Dr. Forman, doubtless you are thinking that a man of my position, one of the most powerful men in England, should not be so easily put off by such a letter. However, and methinks you know this from your own experience, the college is a terrifying organization that will stop at nothing to get their way. One would be better off defying the Queen herself than the licensed doctors of London.
Well, then do that.
For whilst our Lord God in heaven may be merciful, the College of Physicians is not.
I want my...
Aye, verily, I must own that what you say is very true.
But mayhap I will furnish you with a letter of recommendation to the University of Cambridge. They may confer upon you a medical degree, and thereby a medical license.
I thank you, Your Grace.
Now, prithee, answer my question.
I have bad news, Your Grace. Lambeth will not escape the plague this time. Things are quiet now, but as I learned during the plague of '92, events may change apace. You must leave Lambeth before it's too late.
I feared as much. I must begin preparations for the removal of the palace household to Sussex.
Before you go, Your Grace, I believe you were intending to write me a letter of recommendation.
Well, indeed, I will reflect on the quality of advice you have given me over the years, and if I judge that you have acted with some skill, then I will have my chaplain draft you a letter of recommendation and have it sent to you. Good day, Dr. Forman.
Good day. So, did we get one or not? It's the last time, right? Is he the last one overall, or is there anything else left? The Queen did wish to know whether the plague, which has lately begun to spread through London, will reach as far as Lambeth. It did inform the Queen that the plague will reach Lambeth soon, and advised him to leave while he still can. Methinks the Queen is most pleased with me for the reading I gave this day. I will deliver a sermon on a lesson we might learn from Noah and the flood. It's all done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 received. Not bad. Mail. So, thank you for your recent submission of several letters of recommendation. I am pleased to inform you that these letters, being of sufficient quality and number, have been credited towards the obtention of a medical degree. Please find enclosed your license to practice medicine. We did it! John Carroll, Vice Chancellor, University of Cambridge.
Forman gained a license to everyone's surprise. A true and proper doctor at last legitimized. But now he's risen not so far from whence he began. With me common folk still
What?
You cannot board up my house! 'Tis not a plague house! You are mistaken! I do not have the plague! Let me out of here! Know you not who I am, you fools? I am Simon Forman, Doctor of Astrology and Physic! Fie upon those ungrateful wretches! Have I not always been there for them when they needed me? Am I not the doctor who risked his life to cure them during the plague of '92, when all the other doctors and their high-born friends fled London and left them to die? Indeed, mayhap next time I will think again before risking my life in the service of the townsfolk, if this is the way I'm to be repaid. And forsooth, if my deeds are so easily forgotten by the living, what chance is there for my work to be remembered by generations to come? What will the world know of me once I'm gone?
Oh, that's deep. How will I be remembered after I die? Speaks of quite violence exacted by a genteel woman with hidden motives. Remember for having given something valuable to a psychopath to hide somewhere. Forsooth, how strange. Whatever could that be? A potion comprised of costly ingredients? Let's see some other options. It will be a very long time before my ingenious contributions are properly recognized by historians. That might be true. My relationship with myself will change when I embark upon a voyage, to wit my death will occur while travelling. Good angels will ensure the manners of my death serves as a testament to the intelligence, accuracy, and soundness of my methods as an authority in the field of astrological science. It will be a long time for your legacy to come through, but eventually there will be a computer game.
Ah, I see. Many years will pass before my work is to be given the recognition it deserves. Men living centuries from now, mayhap even ladies, will study my treatises and casebooks with great care and write histories about my work. But hold, does not Mr. Shakespeare tell the lives of great men upon the stage? Perchance playwrights will use the wondrous stage machinery of the future to illuminate my work. Mayhap the story of my life will be told by players, for my work is of great historical importance, and now that I have a medical license, not even the College of Physicians has the power to discredit me. But if I am to go forth into the world to make any further contributions to the advancement of medical science, I must find a way to pry these wretched boards off my front door. William! William! Fetch me a crowbar!
What? I don't wish to know how I would be remembered in years to come. I judge that I would be many years before my historical contributions are properly recognized. And that's it. That's the game. Oh, such a wonderful game.
England in 1592. There begins our tale, and all of it is true. Through all of London, bubonic plague did spread, covering folk in weeping sores and leaving thousands dead.
From towns and cities, doctors they did flee, leaving their patients to die in misery.
But one brave doctor stayed when all the cowards fled, might have been because he was too sick to leave his bed.
Forman made a plague cure and used it on himself, then left his house to risk for London.
It's wonderful music.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Wonderful singers.
Huzzah! 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 Huzzah!
Simon Forman, he cured us of the plague, his bruise
Some details are a little vague, but we know his
Historical narrative consulting.
is of strong water, so what if he be not a proper licensed doctor?
But then the doctors started to come back and saw themselves replaced by a man they called a quack. They said,
Astrologaster takes its inspiration from Simon Forman's casebook. So it is like the last thing that I predicted, it will be years to come, and then we have this.
to get his license and make the doubters see.
Based on a true and truly ridiculous story.
I will pay no heed, he said,
Said,
to those who scoff and laugh.
scoff and
Wow, okay, so what I want to say about this game is that in the beginning it was very much, I don't know, intent on figuring out the correct thing, what is the correct thing, and as it starts off, as you're treating illnesses, that is something that you can do. By the symptoms, you can figure out what the correct thing is. Then when it started to go into predictions, it was a bit more wary, but then it started to go into meddlings. You could just meddle with people's lives. You could lead them one way or another, you could support them or disrupt them. I don't know how much influence it actually has on what's happened, or whether it just means that people will like you more or less. I will want to start a new game. Not replay it like in full and record it in full, but I want to see some other choices and whether there's other impacts they could have. I do want to, I probably just cheat doing that, but I do want to pass the test from the doctors. I can just, write down all the information in between, or just look it up and the test comes up, I guess, because I want to see what happens if I'm like, oh yeah, I am actually knowledgeable of astrology. But this is amazing. The music is so witty, the writing is so good, the case is interesting, the people, the art style, everything draws me in. And just recently, like, I had music stuck in my head, and I was like, where did I know it from? It was from this, from the Astrologaster, from the game, and it is a wonderful game. It also recently came out on the Switch, I think, which I feel like also really cool, because those games that have a lot of story that draw me in, I do like playing them on the Switch. A lot of this I played on the PC, and I can totally recommend for you to get this, because oh my god, it's amazing. There's gonna be a couple more videos on it. I don't know exactly how long, how much detail. It depends on how different stuff is actually gonna be. But I do want to go back into that and see what happens in specific cases, because it has some influence. Like, remember, we sent this dude to Italy, and then he didn't show up for his next consultation because he wasn't there for that when it happened. So it is an amazing game. I love it. I love it. I highly, highly recommend it. It is so much fun just to experience it in your own pace, in your own way. So please do. Thank you so much for watching, and well, I'll be back with more.